new thing that's on the field, isn't it?
Okay.
This is getting on the field.
going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition, your post-game edition, a happy edition here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blick, along with the great Paul Stewert, in my opinion, the official historian of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at buckpower.com, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers move to 4-5. They defeat the Tennessee Titans 20-6. How do we start off this show as we always do on a Monday, Wednesday, after Bucs games, before Bucs games, USF, whatever you want, we give it to you. You know it, you love it, you got to have it. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Welcome, my friend, here to Raymond James Stadium as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick up their fourth win of the season. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Peter. A win. We haven't had one of those for a few weeks. And so that's why, hey, bring the passion, bring the excitement, bring a W. The Buccaneers are back on the winning track. We're going to have a great call tonight. So whatever, get ready for the phone numbers. We want to hear from you. Let's have some really good messages about the Buccaneers. We've had some bad ones the last few weeks. Let's have a couple of hours of really enjoyable calls about the Bucs.
I'll tell you what I always tell my my partner there, Mr. JP Peterson of the JP. Wind me up. Because I'm going to give out the phone numbers. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Live from Raymond James Stadium. Want to hear from you Bucs fans here. Let me go out to some of these comments right now. Let's go out to Ben. LFG, Bucs win. Let's go ahead and give you the Tom Brady. There you go right there. Ben, going to work with a victory shade. Roger Shue, what's up, webheads? What's going on? Bucs finally won a game. It's B-U-C-S, not B-U-C-K-S. That's the Milwaukee Bucks, but I appreciate your tribal troll. Fire those cannons. We shall. There we go. Isadora says, well, Ray Kennedy, I think we've seen enough. Kyle Trask for the year. That's the defense we've been looking for. Absolutely, we'll get to that. That was actually a team win. All three phases showed up today. Let's get to it. A slow start by the Bucs and Baker Mayfield. 7-3 there in the second quarter. Once again, no touchdowns in the first quarter. Give me your general thoughts of that first quarter, because we were looking at ourselves again and saying, oh, no, not again.
I think Peter, it was one of the 1999 with Mike Shula coaching. Except both teams were the same. Neither team could really establish anything. But the Bucs did enough, and we'll come to why we think the Bucs defense played well. And I think it was as much a case of the Tennessee offense struggling, but they did enough to win. And in the end, it was quite a comfortable win. At no time during that second half did I feel that the Tennessee Titans were going to come back. I thought the Buccaneers had it under control. And yeah, it's one of those victories that you've got to be happy about, Peter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I tell you right now, Mayfield comes out with 2 straight passes, then the drive stalls. Of course, you see the defense show up, which, look, at the end of the day, what happened last week shouldn't have happened. You should never give up 470 yards to a rookie quarterback. So you're coming into this matchup, you're not sure, but you get a sack by Vita Vea in this game. In the first half, you get a sack by Shaq Barrett, who nearly rips the offensive lineman's head off, nearly rips Mayonnaise boy Will Levis's head off. And then also Devin White shows up today. In fact, I think this was probably White's best game. What do you say?
Well, to me, what I saw, Peter, was that the Tennessee offensive line, they had a bunch of injuries early in that game, and they were struggling. And it's the same thing as we've seen from the Buccaneers already this year. If you haven't got an offensive line that can run block, and Derrick Henry is a tremendous running back, what did he do?
Yeah.
Not very much. So all these people used to say, well, it's Rashad White. No, it wasn't. It was the line. And this is what Tennessee had. And when you can't run the ball, you get very one-dimensional. And Will Levis doesn't exactly have 10 years of experience. It's his third game. So whereas people were thinking there's going to be loads of passing, it's going to be the same as it was last week in Houston, it wasn't, because Tennessee did not have the offensive line to make it work. The Buccaneer defense got in there, and that's why there was pressure. There was a lot more blitzing this week than we saw last week, which is why Devin White got into the action.
Yeah.
Yaya Diaby had his best game for sure.
Had a sack in this game also. Yeah, and later on. Yes.
And hence the problem the Buccaneers had, which was injuries in the secondary, they never got tested because the Titans couldn't do anything offensively. So yes, we want to give lots of credit to the Buccaneer defense for how they played, but it was as much about they were up against the Titans offense that was struggling.
There go my stats right there. That's why you don't have paper stats, JP. As JP says, write it down. I did, and there it goes across the field. So I'm going to have to remember this, but you're exactly right. Looking at the numbers right now, I think the big-time key matchup was what? King Henry coming to town. You stop the running game there. You put the onus on mayonnaise. I keep on calling him mayonnaise boy, Will Levis, because I just can't get over it. I can't get over how a football player, any human being, puts mayonnaise in their coffee. But you look at it, 19 for 39, 199, one interception. I thought for the majority of the day, this Bucs defense did a good job. And we even saw a sighting, a rare sighting of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka making some plays in this game. And I think that was the key. The defensive line, you're exactly right. Carlton Davis is inactive. You've got Jamel Dean, but it's all predicated, yes, quit doing that. All predicated on your pass rush there, getting to the quarterback, especially you needed to do that versus a rookie quarterback to make him look like a rookie. That's how a rookie quarterback's supposed to look.
The thing I wanted to get onto you then was when, just read out those quarterback stats again for me.
Yes.
Okay. Of 39,
yes,
199, and an interception. The Buccaneers had an interception. I mean, it's come on over here.
We've
got a special guest joining us now.
I love this guy right here, Mr. Brian Ford. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let me tell you something. The reason why we do shows like this is because of what you've done with the fans. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Now, welcome. What an unbelievable showing of our support from our fans. This gentleman right here across the pond. We are lucky as a franchise, and we appreciate it, each and every one of them. The support we get is just unbelievable. And I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely. You deserve it. This is the evolution. This is a streaming show, TV, radio show we try to do on the field. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do that, Mr. Ford. And you got to like this win today, 20-6 over the Tennessee Titans. 4 wins for the season in impressive fashion. Defense shows up. Baker Mayfield shows up. And, of course, the guy who could go down as the best franchise player in their history, Mike Evans, shows up.
Unbelievable. It was a team effort, and it's the start of many wins. This is the start. You just have to win one at a time and just stay focused. And, again, this was a special game because it was our salute to service. Yeah. And we had some unbelievable heroes, not only on the field but off the field, from Special Forces to Central Command. But really, it's the fans. And on behalf of the Glazer family and our entire organization, just want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for what you guys do.
Yes.
And wanted to wish everybody a great evening.
Absolutely. And tell me about this guy right here, because I call him, people say he's the unofficial historian of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I say no. I say he is the official historian of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for buckpower.com. When is that going to be made official?
It's amazing. What his support for not only current but past players, coaches, staff, it's a credit. And what he did and pulled together with the UK fan club is a credit, and we're just so grateful.
Thank you very much.
No,
and something I like is in Britain we don't do this whole military support that you do. So it's been an honour to come and watch this. Yeah. And the way the Buccaneers get involved in doing it, it's a credit to your organisation and to you that you put this out there for everybody. Yeah. So it's fantastic. As a Brit, I am in awe of what you guys do.
No, it's in the fabric of this community, and it really starts with the Glazer family and our entire organization and the community. You notice that this was the halftime that nobody left their seats.
Yeah.
And that's a credit. Over 300 cadets getting sworn in. It's a credit to this community and the support that we show military. And no, it was an honor to host some really special heroes here today.
Absolutely. And they give us the opportunity by serving their country for us to do these type of shows, for us to watch football games. So we cannot forget that. Happy Veterans Day. I was nearly a Marine. Thank God I was not a Marine. I couldn't qualify with the M16. I'm better behind the camera. But I tell you right now, definitely appreciative of your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television and everything you do for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization and the fan base in itself.
Thank you for the opportunity to come on, and thank you to your listeners and your followers. It's a credit to this community, the support that we get. You know, you talk about Titletown, but it's in the stands as well.
I agree.
It's incredible the support that all the franchises get in this community. So again, on behalf of our entire organization, the Glazer family, thank you to your listeners and your followers, and thank you guys for what you do.
All right.
We got to win. We got to keep this going.
That's it. We got to keep it going. Keep on winning.
you.
Appreciate you right there, Brian Ford, on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. I told you, you got to wait to tune in here. That's why you got to tune in. And call in, open phone lines if you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers after a great win over the Tennessee Titans. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Like I said, I'm putting it out there. This man right here is the official historian of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go back out to these comments here. Ray Kennedy says, laugh out loud. We were the first person I thought about. Kyle got the kneel down. I'm actually quite ecstatic. It looks like now Kyle Trask will not be needed for the next 2 to 3 weeks anyway. I go back to the third quarter because you look at Baker's numbers, 18 for 29, 278, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but 6 consecutive games they haven't had a touchdown. Had an opportunity there, a couple plays, Trey Palmer down the field. If he hits them in stride, you got a touchdown, but it looks like he makes the catch. I don't know what a catch is anymore. And then the very next play, it looks like you're going to hit Mike Evans. You should hit him in stride. You don't, but you get it down there, and then Mike Evans drops a pass. But then after that, Baker's able to basically redeem himself with throwing a touchdown to Mike Evans, who wanted it, who looked like the A train on that touchdown, getting in there. So your thoughts on Baker Mayfield?
So basically what you're saying is if a guy hits 2 foul balls and then hits a home run, that's not okay. He's got to hit a home run on the first pitch.
Well, what I'm saying is, look, a lot of fans will be critical, and I understand that because you go from Tom Brady completing basically everything besides last year, which was kind of a disaster to say the least. But you go from a guy with accuracy and everything like that, and you go from Baker Mayfield, who, look, he's missed his fair share of passes this year. But I tell you right now, when that offensive line gives him the time and you have some type of threat of running game, not the greatest, but they got it done today. I think like 70 yards by Rachaad White there, and then also the screen pass, 43 yards. So you get White out in space. You have that balance to your offense, and you're able to take those shots down the field. My thing is you got to hit those shots. But you know what? Baker, the resiliency of this team, and Mike Evans come back, and they get the touchdown. So look at the numbers again. 18 for 29, 278, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. No Kyle Trask time, right?
No, I mean, the way I looked at it, the reason he came in for the snap at the end is because late in the fourth quarter, Baker's hand hit the helmet of one of the Tennessee defenders. Yep. And you could see he was struggling. Now, fortunately, at that point, the Bucs were in, run the clock down, wait for the Titans to make a penalty on third down, get another first down. So he only had to throw one more pass, and even then he overthrew it badly into the end zone. So that's why Kyle got in. Now, we can get into this whole who should be the quarterback thing, and my view has always been if this season goes down the pan a little bit, then you have to put Kyle Trask in because you have to find out what you've got with him for the future. Because if you are going to say, look, it's a 5 or 6 win season, and I hope now it's going to be more, you've got to know what you've got going into next season. And obviously Kyle had no chance to play over the last 2 years. So right now, Baker is the quarterback. Baker is the winning quarterback today. He should have been the winning quarterback last week. That wasn't his fault. He had a great game. So, yeah, I think we just, look, let's put that to rest for one side. Let's not really talk about that. Let's focus on some other things to do with this winning Buccaneer team, Peter.
Absolutely. Go to 4-5 as they defeat the Tennessee Titans. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the evolution of Sports Talk Television. This is not a podcast. This is live from Raymond James Stadium. Call in and text in. Let's go back out to Roger Shue here. Congrats, Peter. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. Good win for the Bucs. Ray Kennedy, Paul Buck Power Stewart. There you go. Great stuff there, Tampa Bay Ray. Let's take all the positives from today. Take it with us to San Fran next Sunday. Let's go, Bucs. That is a tough matchup. And we all know what San Francisco and the House of Horrors it was last year. Hopefully it's not the same. Go ahead and give me some negatives out of this game that you saw. You know, offensive slow start there. Third quarter, you missed some plays. Offensive line still not able to establish. The penalties are still out of control. What else would you say negatively about this team?
Okay, negatively,
yes.
I don't want to see Chase, loss of 2 Edmonds, carry the ball anymore because I know that's his now official name. So, yeah, to me, I don't really want to see this too much rotation at running back, because I know you understand you want to get a running back wants to get into a rhythm. And I was talking, I'm going to name drop here. I was talking pre-game with Tiki Barber, who was calling the game for
Listen
CBS
to you
today.
dropping names, Tiki Barber.
Me and Tiki, we're like that.
I missed him by what couple minutes? I missed him by.
Yeah, we heard you.
I was late.
No, he heard you were coming, Peter, and he left.
Okay.
So he was talking about the running backs, and he was a great one for the Giants. You want to get into a rhythm. Now, I understand there are times where you want to take a play off. You've got to, get that breather. But at the moment, there are times where you just go to a drive and it's, okay, let's put Chase Edmonds in. And we go 1, 2, 3 and punt. I don't want to see any more of Chase Edmonds. I want to see, Rashad White is proving he can do the job. Don't let him take drives off. Let him take plays off. And his play on that third down, I don't want to do negatives. I'm going to do a positive, Peter.
Yes.
That third down screen pass, that is the second best screen pass I've ever seen the Buccaneers pull for a touchdown. The best one was back in 97.
Okay.
Warwick Dunn against Miami.
Yes.
I was there in the old sombrero, and there was tremendous blocking on that score for Warwick Dunn. The blocking on the pass, and go back and watch this on the highlights. Robert Hainsey was down there. White played the run beautifully, waited for Hainsey to make the last block, went into third gear, into the end zone. Bucs score a touchdown, and they're on their way to their victory.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember that game. It's Thursday Night Football. And that was what? That was 97. That was the year they started off 5-0. 5-0.
And I was there for 2 of those wins. It was a great night, and there were rumors of some of the clubs I might have gone to celebrate, but we'll do that on another show.
Well, we all know about the clubs and celebrating, but you know what? Celebrate on, Bucs fans, because it is Victory Monday. It is Victory Sunday night here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Giovanni. Let me go ahead and give a Ric Flair. There we go, right there. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Evans is a beast, but he needs some sticky gloves. He's had those times this year where, and look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Mike Evans is not one of the best all-time Buccaneers, but do you notice it yourself that he's dropping a lot more passes than previous years? Or is that me and other people trying to focus on that because he is in a contract situation with the Bucs right now?
He's always had drop problems in his career, Peter. If you go back to his rookie season of 2014, he was one of the, unfortunately, leading receivers in drops in the NFL. So he's always had that problem. But what would you rather have? A guy who has 6 catches for 50 yards and makes every catch and doesn't
I've done
do
the same thing, by the way. Yeah.
Or do you want to have a guy who goes, 10 for 143, has a touchdown where, like you said, he turned into Mike Allstott.
Yeah.
You sometimes take those drops. Again, going back to a baseball analogy, it's like the guy who hits 2 home runs but strikes out twice. Forget the 2 strikeouts. Concentrate on the home runs.
Well, correct. And you have to go 3 for 10 in baseball, 300. Don't do that when you're playing quarterback, of course. Let me go out. Let's see here. Sean says, I thought we played too conservative. Not that we were behind, just felt like it. A lot of people didn't like, once again, before halftime, you have timeouts. Why not call the timeout there? You have Tennessee pen deep. Why not be more aggressive in that situation? Did you have a problem with Todd Bowles going in that direction?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And I have no problem. There are times where it's easy to say, oh, you should be aggressive, be aggressive. This was not a game where the Bucs needed to be aggressive. It was one of those games. Look, you go back to some of the Tony Dungy years. The Bucs knew if they got to 20 points today, they were going to win, and they were on track to do it. So it wasn't the game where you needed to take chances. The game last week, that was a high-scoring game. You take chances. So this was one where the analytics were a little bit more favored towards conservatism rather than out-and-out aggression.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I go back to it, for me, the matchup to look at coming into the game was, the story was the rookie quarterback. How could the defense returned to form today? Although I will say there could have been much more interceptions there. Levante David dropped one. I get it. There's a reason why they play defense and not offense in the first place, but there were a lot of opportunities. And then finally you get the nail into the coffin there. Who else? Antoine Winfield Jr. By the way, Jason Line, we saw him today. I was about ready to say line 1, Antoine Winfield Jr. needs an extension because you need to get that guy an extension fast. He's played out of his mind and once again continues that effort with an interception today. tremendous play at the safety position. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting quite amusing how the Bucs defensive backs could not get an interception because there were 2 or 3 times today where it was like watching hockey last night. The puck would just bounce over someone's stick, and it was getting to the point where someone's about to make an interception, and your own player deflects it.
Yeah.
And when the Winfield interception happened, and it was a deflected ball that was up in the air, it was like watching Hosey Siri of the Rays, and you're thinking, oh God, he's hot dogging this. Please just catch it. And it was the same thing with Winfield. That ball seemed to be up there forever. Yeah. And you're thinking, yes, at last we've got an interception. So it's one of those things, and I'm going to use a really terrible phrase. It's like London buses. You wait ages for one, and then 5 come along all at once. And that's what's going to happen with the Bucs. As soon as they get 1 interception, they're going to get 5. Well, maybe not next week, but they're going to get 5.
That's exactly what they need. They need to create more turnovers, especially. And again, Carlton Davis not being in this game. I thought Jamel Dean did a good job because you know who you didn't hear from? And he did like this gravedigger thing in the third quarter. Buddy, you need to look at the scoreboard because you were down at the time 17-6. DeAndre Hopkins, anybody hear from him? Because I think he was on, a milk carton at this point. And I give credit to where credit is due. I don't necessarily think Dean, after coming off that extension, has played his best football. But I felt like, the game plan was if you were going to try to shut him down, shut down Derrick Henry, and once again put the onus on a rookie quarterback and Will Levis, he did a hell of a job today. So give credit to where credit is due. Once again, Jamel Dean.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, he struggled last week because he had a concussion. He only passed concussion protocol yesterday. And it's not a thing the team do. It's an NFL mandated issue. And there was a lot of worry 24 hours ago Jamel Dean would not be out here.
Yeah.
He was. And you could see the difference because the other side of the defense, you're always worried about McCollum and is he doing the best he can at nickelback. But the Bucs are weak behind the 2 starters. I have no problem with Davis and Dean having those big contracts. They earned them. And you need good cornerbacks in the NFL. Every good cornerback gets beaten now. Every good cornerback. So it's no guy just picking on them, going, oh, he gave up this, he gave up that. Everyone will. On the scheme of things, I would far rather have those 2 than other people like that.
Let me ask you, though, because they've been critical. A lot of Bucs fans have been critical, and as they would be. And by the way, it's crickets out there after the Bucs won. I mean, come on, guys. You call the phone lines when they lose, but you guys are crickets. Call the phone line up, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. A lot of Bucs fans have been critical of Dean and Davis. Davis definitely had one of his worst games of his career, but he was accountable this week. Rondé Barber calling him out. That's not necessarily the guy you want to have call him out. You also heard from Warren Sapp this week, kind of calling out Devin White with his effort. So even though Carlton Davis didn't play in this game, what did you think about him taking accountability for that bad game?
He was hurt last week. He had a turf toe injury that happened early in the game. And the reason he was out there is because the Bucs had nobody else to put out there against Houston. They were stuck. So that's why they had to go to a lot of the deep zone defense with Davis playing 12 yards off because he was injured. If he tried to play up on the line on man-to-man, then Tank Dell would have just gone past him. It would have been 9 route, bomb, and he would have been touchdown. So I have no problem with what Carlton Davis tried to do last week. But as you said, Peter, he owned it. He did what he could. The defense struggled. And even though it's hard to say it really wasn't his fault because of injury, he was doing the best he could. So I have no problem with that. And I think it shows a lot of maturity and a lot of ownership on that part of the defense. So I would ignore maybe sometimes what 1 or 2 of the ex-Buccaneers would say. And I'm thinking the one who wore 99. I would listen a lot more of what the one who said 20 wore.
Right. Well, you still respect Warren Sapp because
he's bigger than me.
Well, he is bigger than you, and
so
also
most people.
One of the greatest 3 techniques of all time. Yeah. Although we've had our personal experience with him, whatever, who cares? You definitely respect his opinion. With that being said, Devin White, do you think this was his best game of the year? Was this a coming out party? Where do you stand on the extension talk? Because that has been in the news for the offseason. It's been in the news during the regular season. How do you feel like Devin White has played this year and in this game?
Okay, today he was able to take advantage of the problems with the Tennessee offensive line. And if you notice, there was a lot more blitzing today. The last 2 to 3 weeks, there's been probably 85, 90% zone. Today, there was more blitzing. It was like back to it being Todd Bowles' defense because there was a chance on the offensive line to do it and a rookie quarterback. So that's why it looked like White was making more plays. I still do not think he's a good enough pass coverage defender. He's good. He's got speed. He can diagnose a run play at times. He sometimes misses his gaps.
Right.
Is he worth the sort of money he wants? No, I don't think so. And right now, you cannot just decide this on one game. It wasn't a case of 7 days ago, no, I wouldn't re-sign him, to today going, yeah, I think he should get a contract. It's the sort of thing you can talk about. I think I want to see a lot more.
Right.
I don't think he is worth 5 years at 20 million a time, because he's going to want a lot of guaranteed money in that. Now, the problem I think you've got is it Levante David's last season? So if it was,
you hope not, because to me, David is still the best linebacker on this team and showed up once again today.
Now, the question I'm sort of saying, Peter, is would you can't afford to lose both at the same time.
Correct.
So if Levante was going to leave and retire, then it might put more of a need for you to have Devin White re-signed. If Levante was going to play one more year, then you could get away with either drafting another linebacker, playing the likes of a Cam Gill or a KJ Britt, if they're good enough. So that's the situation I think you're in. I do not want to make a decision based on what we saw today, because he took advantage of the problems with the Tennessee offense.
Fair point. All right, open phone lines. What do you think of the Devin White situation? How did he play, in your opinion? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Bucs fans, get on the phone lines. We're live here on the evolution of sports talk television at Raymond James Stadium. I'm your host, Peter Blake, with the great, for me, the official, unofficial Bucs historian. Well, we were just talking to Brian Ford. Tell me a story about Brian Ford that nobody else knows. Tell me something. Give me something.
No, he knows where I live. I can't do that. This is why I can't tell stories about Dave Moore, because Dave Moore knows where I live. I've known Brian since 2009. Now, back in 14 years ago now, the Bucs played the first time they came to London. We arranged a touch football game against the Patriots fan club, and it was the day before. We had TV cameras down there. It was the first time I met Brian, and he made sure there were quite a few Buck alumni there. There was a certain guy called Leroy Selman. There was a guy called Mike Allstott. We had Shelton Qualls. Both Shelton and Mike Allstott played for our touch football team. And Brian was the person who made that happen. And for me, I'd run the Bucs fan club for sort of 25, 30 years at that point. The fact I could look around and see the eyes of other British Buccaneer fans who were just in awe of what they were watching, that was down to Brian. And I think every Buccaneer fan knows about him. They're aware of what he does in the community. He is everywhere, shaking everybody's hand. He is a credit to the Buccaneers. And if you had to name the 3 best off-field Buccaneers of all time, Gene Deckerhoff is 1. Brian Ford is 2. Well,
met Gene today once again. Met him when I was 10 years old when they used to do Bucs Fan Fest. I told him that, and I told him, hopefully you're screaming, touchdown Tampa Bay, fire those cannons, as he would say. Oh, that's not it. Right there, that's it. Gotta love it. All right, let's see. Let's go out to Cornell. Hey, Peter Blake, what's going on, buddy? It's a W. We'll take it. Could have put a few more points, but defensively they blitzed more and played better. Mike says, finally, much needed W. Defense showed up big. Absolutely agree with that. Defense definitely showed up big today.
Yeah, as I said, they took advantage of what was there. The defensive line were around. I still got issues with 1 or 2 players on that defensive line.
Give me those issues. Give me those 2 players that you have an issue with. Is it Devin White that you were talking about before?
Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and Logan Hall.
Okay.
They are not playing up to their draft position, and I want to see more from them. Vita Vea is not the player he was 3 years ago. He's still one of the best defensive tackles you could want to have, but he's not the real superstar I think he was before. So, yeah, I want to see more from the defensive line. Shaq Barrett got in on a highlight reel sack. Fantastic. But I think if you were to say, Peter, if you were to take a snapshot of the Buccaneer defense now to the Buccaneer defense you're going to see in 2 years' time, there's going to be a lot of different players on that defense. No matter what happens, there are going to be a lot of changes coming because of retirements and free agency and the like. And it'd be interesting to see what people have to think about that. Again, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw something out there now for all the people listening.
Sure, go for it.
It's a little bit of a Bucs trivia question.
Okay.
And it involves the Bucs and the Titans, as they were the Houston Oilers at that point. 40 years ago, there was a very memorable game played here in Tampa between the Bucs and the Oilers. What was so special about it? I tell you, there is a website you can go look up the answer. But hey, come on, Bucs fans, let's hear from you.
Do you know my phone number? You should know it. You know what you love. You got to have it. 727-255 0391. It's 727-255-0391. Get on the phone lines here. What do they win? Absolutely nothing. You get a pat on the back here.
Well,
for
I'll
calling.
tell you what you win. If you get the answer right, you win a night out with me. If you get the answer wrong, you get a night out with Peter. How about that?
Okay.
Or actually, no, you get 2 nights out with me instead.
Thanks a lot.
I would actually like to point out we're about to have a very special guest come and join us. Now,
Yes.
in the Tampa sports world, there are icons, there are media people, and there are media icons. And ladies and gentlemen, back from his extensive tour in India and the subcontinent, I'd like to introduce you to the one and only TJ Reeves.
TJ Reeves, what's going on? Welcome back to the evolution of sports talk television after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Tennessee Titans 20-6. Your thoughts?
If all we knew that it took was to have Paul Stewert come here from 4,000 miles away, we would have done this like 3 weeks ago.
Yes,
So,
yes.
impressive today. I know you guys have been going over it. Anytime that you hold the other team to 6 points, you're going to have a great chance to win. I mean, this is not profound. This is simple. And after that opening drive, Tennessee basically didn't do anything on offense. They did get in the red zone once and kick a field goal, but the Bucs just did a tremendous job of holding them down, and the offense was good enough. A pretty complete victory. A lot of things to be happy about. I'm sure you've been talking about it with the fans and with the callers.
Yes. We have Brian Ford on here a little bit. Yeah.
Take this today. Don't apologize for this today. It doesn't matter if you won it 9-6, much less 20-6. You needed a win. You got scoop.
Yeah, you got the win, and I tell you right now, I think really the defense set the tone because they got after the rookie quarterback. That's how you treat a rookie quarterback after giving up 470 yards. And I get it. You're on the road, and C.J. Stroud may be a far better quarterback. And like Paul said, the offensive line isn't that good, but you needed to see that effort today by the defense get after it, and they got after it. Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, Yaya Diaby. We saw some flashes of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. I mean, that's where it goes. And then coming into the game, no Carlton Davis, so Jamel Dean completely shut down DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, he did a great job there today. It kind of goes unsung, but we didn't call Hopkins' name more than a couple times till the very end of the game, and that was Dean doing a lot on him. And again, it's one thing, Paul, you and I have been talking about this building up to the game for 2 days. It's one thing if you're going to blitz and play man-to-man and they barbecue the blitz and they throw for 400 yards and score 35 points. At this point, you will live with that. So today you changed what we saw the last 3 or 4 games, really. And you just got to be willing to live with if they can burn it some, they're going to burn it some. But right now, that's the aggressive way to play. And to me, live, you guys were up high in the box. It looked like they blitzed maybe 25, maybe even 40% more in this game than what we've seen. And it did make a difference. It's not the only reason why you succeeded, but I think most Buck fans from here on out would be happy, even if you're getting burned some of the time. Just be more aggressive.
Yeah.
Because we've seen the other. We've seen the rush 3, drop 8, rush 4, drop 7, and it has not been working.
No, it has not worked. And we're on with the great TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. Of course, Paul Stewart of BuckPower.com. In my opinion, the official historian of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We also talk about Devin White and the type of effort that he gave. I thought this clearly, in my opinion, was his best game. You saw it on field level. Did you think the same?
Yes, and he hurt his foot early on in the game, so he was right back here behind me. They were taping his foot. Then he was working out, running back and forth to see what was going on. He was a gamer because the foot was clearly bothering him. But they got him free on the blitz. He shot the gap 2 or 3 times on some run plays. You saw his play improve. And with Levante David playing at a very high level and Antoine Winfield in the back playing at a high level, the strength of the back 7 of the defense there in the middle is a big deal. And you better be ready for San Francisco. I've only seen basically the score, but they obviously dump trucked Jacksonville today. So you're going to have to be ready down the middle of the defense, Scoop, for this matchup coming up.
So I was going to ask you, TJ, you've been in the locker room for the last 4 weeks, and it's been a very somber place. You've had a heck of a job finding people to interview for the Nothing But Bucks podcast. Tell us what it was like about half an hour ago in that locker room.
So the music was loud. It was like being in the club. They hadn't played the music.
What were
for
they
like
playing,
5
by
minutes.
the way?
I don't even know.
They were playing a flock of seagulls. Greatest hits.
I'm
Did you
sure
know?
they were. I'm sure they were.
Hip hop, something with the bass that was loud enough that I'm surprised you guys couldn't hear it upstairs in the press box. And that's what happens when you win. You get to do that, and you get to experience that. But the word that I would use, I think, is reassured. They were reassured that, hey, you can go out there and play like this today. Was it perfect? No. But by and large, they would have beaten a lot of people with the way they played today. Maybe not the elite of the elite, but you would have beaten a lot of people with how they played today. So I think they're reassured. And a couple players said as much. Shaq Barrett said, we needed this today when we were sitting there talking to him, because it's just reinforcement that you can play this way and you can look like this and you can go get a victory.
Baker Mayfield, much has been made. There's a lot of Bucs fans out there that are Gator fans. They want to see Trask after that performance today. Besides, their early throw and triple coverage, which I don't understand. It's an ill-advised throw. You can't make that throw. But besides that, go ahead and give me your analysis on his play. And do you think there's still possibility of a change, or do you think they just ride it out with Mayfield?
I think at this point, barring injury, it is his job. You're back in contention at 4-5. We know the Saints lost. We know the Panthers lost. The Falcons are playing right now. You're right in the thick of the division race, and he has played well enough now the last 2 weeks. He played tremendously well in the fourth quarter of the game last week, and he did a great job today making plays with his feet, making throws down the field. You move the ball, you got touchdowns. He's the guy. There's not a quarterback controversy for now because you won the game, and you've got to hang in there for a possible chance to win the South and win the playoffs. It's a long season. You have 8 more to go. Hopefully he stays upright and healthy.
Yeah.
So that's where Kyle Trask has got to stay ready. But I don't know what you think, Scoop. I mean, we've often joked that for 50 years practically of this franchise, the Buccaneer fans' favorite quarterback is the guy not playing
as the backup.
And so here we are again, that there's some debate that the backup should be in there. I just don't think it's a debate right now. He silenced that.
No, I think my view is, and I don't say it's not just the Gator fans want to see him, the Seminole fans want to see him so they can boo him. So
well, I don't want to see him at all, because I think Baker Mayfield gives you the best shot to win. Although some concern there later on in the game when he gets hit on his hand. Yeah, hurt it. I mean, hopefully he's not hurt. He got hit on his hand this year. He's a tough guy, but I think you can ill afford to lose him right now. Rachaad White with the big play, and I think the Bucs have found something. Maybe not necessarily with the running game, because it was kind of ugly today. I think it's like 17 for 50 yards, not necessarily the best statistics to write home about. But when you get White out in space like they did on the 43-yard touchdown, magic can happen with this kid, right?
Yes, and you saw it on the screenplay, and there was a lot of want-to on that on his part and blockers down the field. You're right on getting him in space. And again, in one slight defense here, in the fourth quarter of the game, they had like 8- and 9-man fronts, and you're still running the ball between the tackles trying to run the clock. No one was going to run, not Walter Payton, not Mike Allstott was going to run successfully against that yards per carry at the end of the game. So the run game has been adequate as of late. I don't know that there can be an expectation, Peter, that it's going to at any point be good or really good.
Yeah.
But right now it's been adequate, and they have found ways to get him the ball in space, like you're saying, with early passes that are like run plays for 5 yards, 6 yards. They did that 2 or 3 times today. So you've improved. You've improved in some regards.
Yeah, you definitely have improved. I think we lost your sound there for just a little bit. Sorry about that. It's a loose cord. It happens sometimes here on the Evolution.
Live show.
Yeah, live show. So
it wouldn't be the first time my mic's gone dead on TV. Don't worry about that. There's enough times that happened in Britain. They got they got me with it enough times in Britain as well.
The summarized version of whatever you may not have heard is take the win. Pretty complete victory. You probably would have beaten a lot of teams with the way you played today at home. Be happy with that. How about that?
Yes.
The Cliff Notes version.
Yes, absolutely. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. Final thoughts here on the Evolution, because I know we're probably going to go out to eat here in a little bit to celebrate.
Who's picking up the check on that one? I don't know if it's
Jason Powers.
British money doesn't count in Tampa Bay.
Jason Powers is paying. We're going to put it on his credit.
There you go. Put it on Jason Powers. Yes.
I think the one thing you take away from this, you needed this today, like we were saying a little while ago. Don't know if you heard it, audience.
Yeah.
And now you go to San Francisco, Santa Clara to be exact, and see what it looks like. Again, the 49ers destroyed Jacksonville today. Maybe they're a little overconfident. And you have a chip on your shoulder because the 49ers embarrassed this team late November with Tom Brady at the helm. Let's see what it looks like. Not many people are going to think that you should go out there and have a chance to win. But if you play a complete game like this, you will be in the game. They played today like they need to play moving forward to be able to hang with the San Francisco. let's see if it translates, boys.
All right.
We know
Good
that
stuff.
we know that it worked out today.
Good stuff. That's why you got to tune into the Evolution. You never knew who's going to come on. The media icon himself, the sideline guy here.
And all the way from England,
yes,
getting the analysis
right
from the
there.
Paul Stewert.
Yes. Thanks a lot,
See
TJ.
you, boys.
Appreciate you. Let me go out to the comments and we'll wrap this up for the night here. Let's see. Big Pond Jumper Stewart, I always wanted to know your thoughts. Do you think the Buccaneers would have a better running game if they had a fullback? David, go.
No, is the answer. Unfortunately, I think the fullback game has gone the way of the dinosaur. I mean, the days where you'd line up two backs behind each other, that was John McKay, sometimes under Mike Schuler's offense. I don't think that's gone. I think you're going to see 11 personnel almost all the time around the NFL these days, sometimes going to two tight ends, two receivers. I don't think you're going to see a fullback really with any NFL team, let alone the Buccaneers. Good question, though, David. Like that one.
Absolutely. David, one of the web heads on the Evolution. Tom says, Paul Stewart, a Tampa Bay legend.
My old producer.
I tell you right now, I know the guy. I used to work at a radio station in a galaxy far, far away. And of course, where did he start out at? Or what show did he produce on ESPN?
I have no idea. You'll have to get me with that
The
one.
Sports Babe.
Was it?
I gotcha.
Hey, that's.
I gotcha.
I was on that a long time ago.
Gotcha. All right.
Just going back to the question. So
yes.
I was going to ask you people earlier. The game that happened 40 years ago. It was when the Bucs played the Oilers. The Bucs were 1-11. The Oilers were 1-11, and Tom McEwen of the Tampa Tribune named it the Reapers Bowl, which is super backwards because both teams were so far from the Super Bowl, they should have their own game. And the quarterbacks that day, for the Oilers, it was Oliver Luck, that is father of Andrew Luck, and for the Bucs, it was Jack, the throwing Samoan Thompson.
Well, there you go. There you go. He's got all the trivia, Bucs fans out there. BuckPower.com. Relive your childhood like I did one night. You got nothing to do. You're trying to calm down after a show.
You've got nothing to do. You should be doing it even if you've got something to do.
Exactly. But I'm saying when you're trying to calm down, relive your childhood, go to BuckPower.com. I remember stuff from the 90s, from 92, 93. Amazing stuff there, BuckPower.com. And of course, the No Quarter Given podcast with yours truly, along with my tag team partner of the world, Mr. Jason Powers, who, by the way, is buying food here this week. Yes, he's doing that.
I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll put it out on Buck Power where we're going to be, that Jason's buying, and let's really run the tab up on him, Tampa Bay.
Yes, beer, celebration, bars, everything, all on Jason Powers, all on you. Happy Victory Day. We still have concerns, but I hope it gets fixed in the future. We still get luck. Win is a win, even if they didn't play good. But to me, they played a bit better today. Absolutely game on. Love the win, but I still see the coach's mentality of playing not to lose instead of continuing to press the gas on offense. 3 straight running plays through the middle with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Agree with that, Paul?
No, as I say, I do agree with trying to run the clock down because that was a game. At that point, the only thing you can do is lose the game. That's why you have to do it. If you're in that position where you're 2 touchdowns ahead, and I think TJ Reeves would definitely agree with me in that situation.
Yes.
You don't give the other chance to win. In fact, TJ is coming into
TJ's coming back in now.
Yeah,
he's shaking his head. Yeah. Yes, so right there.
That's why I've always played with that one. And I'm not one of these people. I don't like to second guess coaches' decisions because it's what you make. Everyone after the event knows what to do. Hey, I could give you the winning Powerball numbers for last week, but that's because it was last week. It's what you do calling at the time. And it's funny that when a screen pass works, it's always the greatest play in the NFL's playbook. If it doesn't work, you idiot, what are you calling that for? So I've got no problem with running the clock down because it was a case of do not give the Titans a chance to win. They had the foot on their throat. They kept it there. The final score,
20-6, and the phone lines have been very empty today. But that's okay
because it's me.
No, it's just because we're giving compelling, conversation here, and they just want to sit back and listen. Thank you,
Tampa Bay. This guy's good.
Thank you. Much. I appreciate that. I learned from you guys. All right, White played great. DY didn't get called out like he was called out this week. Performed. Donald says, "Great show, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let me fire those cannons." I got to figure out how to get a laptop riser here so I don't have to bend down. It's okay. Let's see. Just a man defense will be okay. Joe the Animal. Hey, guys, it's Animal. Hey there, Paul. You know him personally, right?
I've known the Animal for 35 years since we were both probably about 6 years old because we're not that old, but we are. So, Animal, great to hear from you, my friend. Hope you're doing well.
Good stuff. Again, worldwide here on all kinds of platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all over the place. Cardinals score. You know I'm right. People asking for Mayfield to be benched for Trask are, I don't know what that is.
No, nor do I.
The Bucs D had to play well in order for them to stay in the game at San Fran. Roll the dice with the offense, see what happens. Joe again, yes. Reapers Bowl. Ben says, great show, guys. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
you.
Ben. The check's in the post.
There you go. 14-12 halftime score. I guess that's what the Cardinals there, that game. And on third down screenplay, when David was yelling at White to get out of there on the outside receiver, he just waved it off. He didn't put himself, he put himself out of position on that play. Tell you what, let's go out to this guy right here. Let's go ahead and get his intro on. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web, live here from Raymond James Stadium on the evolution of sports talk television. Harry the Greek, go ahead. Give me your thoughts today after the Bucs moved to 4-5, defeating the Tennessee Titans 20-6. Go, my friend. Are you there?
What Harry would like to say is he had the Bucs to win by 14 points. He's also tipping Manchester City to win the Premier League, and he thinks that I should never go and watch a Lightning game again. That's what he would probably say if we could get the connection to work.
All right, let's see here. Harry, are you there?
Hey, Peter, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. See, I know the connection was working. He wasn't working. I don't know what's going on there. I'm doing great. Bucs win 20-6. Your initial thoughts of the game, because we were texting back and forth. The running game not necessarily there, but they get it done, right?
Well, they got it done. They look good that way. Thank God they play in this division because they actually have a chance to win it still. So you do have something to play for. But Peter, I'm telling you, man, that running game is non-existent. They have got to run the football.
Well, you know, again, you look at the final numbers here. We talked about it. 20 carries for 51 yards. Baker Mayfield, 3 for 12. Chase Edmonds, 4 for 9. So you run the ball, about 27 times. It's not necessarily the pretty. I think they ran the ball more. I just don't. I think
they ran it. No, they were split. They were dead 50-50.
Right.
29 carries, 29 runs.
Right.
But that's because,
football.
But Harry, that's because the situation necessitated it late in the game. I think when they had to pass the ball, they were passing the ball. There were a couple of drops that came in, but by the end of the game, that was the right game plan to have.
Yeah, and I also think, you can find different ways to run the ball. You don't necessarily have to do it under center. You can throw screens. You could throw dump offs, which is what they found with Rashard White with the 43-yard touchdown there. Looked like he was pressured, but he got rid of the ball. You can find different ways. The New England Patriots did that for years, and I'm not sitting here saying the Bucs offense is like that, but that's how you get creative instead of running the ball for 2 yards in a cloud of dust, which I think a lot of Bucs fans out there, are tired of seeing, and it's not good because it's 2nd and 8 at that point. And then you're basically forced to pass unless you want to run the ball for another 2 or 3 yards, and it's 3rd and 5. You want to get into those manageable situations of 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1, so you can open up your playbook and maybe take some deep shots down the field where a team basically is not expecting it.
Without question, yeah. They actually look a lot better than they did last week.
I agree. I think anything was better than giving up 39 points to a rookie quarterback for 470. Give me also, was this Devin White's best game that you saw?
Yes, by far. I mean, it wasn't even close. Actually, it got a little scary there because I'll tell you what, there was a situation where I thought he wasn't going to come back. I thought he got hurt.
Well, he did hurt his foot. TJ just reported that he did hurt his foot in the game. So, we'll keep track of that situation, keep you updated. This team already banged up with Carlton Davis not playing. And I thought everybody was kind of down on this Bucs defense. Could they stop the running game? And once again, that was a tall task to do, to shut down King Henry. They did it. He was a non-factor. DeAndre Hopkins in the passing game was a non-factor with having your best corner out, in my opinion, and Carlton Davis, even though he didn't look like that last week. I mean, again, I think this Bucs defense deserves a lot of credit. I get it. Titans not an upper echelon team, but you win the games in the National Football League. It means not for long if you're losing them. And the Bucs find a way today.
We got to pump the brakes a little bit when we're talking about the defense. I need to see another performance like this again.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of tape out there on a rookie quarterback for Tennessee, and they had one job, and that was to stop the run. And everybody remember correctly, the Bucs.
See, that's not me. That's him.
Yeah.
That is his signal out there. Where are you at right there? What kind of phone do you got? Where'd you buy your phone at?
I bought mine at the same place you get yours. Why? What's wrong with my phone?
No, the signal keeps on going in and out here. We're joking around with you. We got Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire here, my co-host on the Sports Web. Give me some more initial thoughts.
It won't go out anywhere. I was up in your neck of the woods called No Place Really. That's why you can't hear me very well.
Oh, there you go. Especially taking another shot at the NPR peeps. The
NPR peeps. Anyway, what I was trying to say was before I was so rudely interrupted by you again, Peter, but that's okay.
My bad. I'm sorry.
We need one more week to see what this defense is going to be like. They had one job to do, and that was to stop King Henry. I'll tell you what, QB1 for Tennessee did not look that good this week. A lot of it had to do with the Buccaneers. Yes, they did blitz a little bit more, and they gave him some confusing looks, and they put a lot of pressure on him. Yes, it was a really good, solid team win defensively for the team. But let's see what happens next week. And hopefully Arizona can pull off the upset like I predicted against Atlanta.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a possibility. Kyler Murray playing in that game, by the way?
I believe he is. Again, I'm up here. I don't get very good reception. A place called No Place Really up here.
All right, Harry. Thanks a lot for the call. Anything else, my friend? Idiots.
I got to tell you, Pete, you look a lot better on stage there when you're talking over there because you have someone so handsome and so nice, so distinguished sitting right next to you. Oh, that wasn't a cut. I hope you guys have a great day. Seriously, welcome to the States, my brother. I hope you can stay a little bit longer. We get to see you soon. Peter, go Bucs. And it was just a really great team win.
Go Bucs, my friend. Good stuff there. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire here on the Sports Web. Yeah,
I was going to say, you talking about King Henry, you could have had King Henry VIII and his 6 wives trying to run the ball today. Someone from Bucs, from British history wouldn't have made any difference. As I say, just in some final thoughts here, it was a win. The Buccaneer defense did what they had to do. They took advantage of a depleted Tennessee offensive line. The Buccaneer offense did exactly what they had to do. The game was called the way it needed to be called, and that's why the final score was 20-6. The Bucs won by 14 points. 2 touchdowns. Let that sink in. They won by 2 touchdowns. They didn't give up a touchdown. That is what you want to see. Buccaneer fans, let's have a fantastic week. We can go and celebrate now with TJ Reeves. I've heard he's actually paying for us tonight, Peter.
Well, let's
go and celebrate with TJ.
Let's go.
Buccaneer fans all across Florida, all across the world, because we're international today. Go and enjoy yourselves. Paul Stewart just saying, cheerio.
Cheerio, absolutely. We're here live from Raymond James Stadium for the great Paul Stewart, the official historian of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in my opinion. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we end off this show?
Bring the passion.
Bring your excitement.
Just don't bring any nonsense.
I'm your Rolex reporter, Peter Blake.
I'm Paul Stewart from BuckPower.com.
What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Bucs win 20-6 to go to 4-5. We'll see you soon here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.